this experience, and I know because you've hung with all of you guys have hung with us. This experience was to be able to show that each of us individually are funny, can write good jokes, can deliver them in the moment, like you just said. Why would you say that exact same fucking time I said it? But that we can deliver in the moment because we want to be seen as two individuals that are great, and then you come together and you fucking form Voltron. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the plan, and that's what we always love to show. Because for us, we don't want to be the gimmick that we just get things because we're twins. They just get put there. They're funny. They're twins who are, we want to be funny. And, the fact that they're twins is fascinating and interesting, and it makes a battle between two people the most interesting battle you've seen.
Yeah, and about that battle part, man, y'all don't dislike each other at all? That can't be possible.
I mean, there is anger always between us. Like, if you ever seen us on a set doing, like, rehearsing for something or that we're both in, if one person fucks up a little bit, the other person just rains down so much.
It's mainly Jason.
Yeah, it's Jason.
I've definitely seen Jason get after Randy. Like, you didn't say this right. You didn't do this right.
No. We both do. I mean,
we'll get on each other.
We'll get on each other.
We'll get it because in a weird way, it's like he's a bizarre sort of extension of me, or at least I feel comfortable enough to criticize him the way I would criticize myself. And so there's a little bit of that in it.
But it's so bad that we were doing our show, like Cheap Seats, there'd be like crew members, long-time camera guys we'd start yelling at each other.
They're like, I got to take a break.
I got to leave.
I can't watch
this.
this.
I can't watch this shit.
It's like that?
It did get like that. Sometimes, not all the time, but we're humans. We're people.
You guys are so nice, though.
No, maybe to the prompter first.
You guys don't even like cuss.
Run it back. Maybe you need to make the letters bigger because he can't see it. You know what I mean?
He forgot how to read. He doesn't know how to read anymore. It's just that kind of like passive aggressive stuff.
Okay.
But I will say this about the battles because we were on the show with Joe List and his wife, and they were so funny. But we were talking to Joe.
Husband and wife, by the way.
Husband and wife. And we were talking ahead of time, and he was like, I think people are going to see my jokes and think I'm just being mean to this woman. And I do think right now, in the shadow of, footage of Ray Rice knocking out his wife, and people, it is like a time where that taboo is a giant hurdle to leap over. When Randy and I step on the stage, it's like,
all things are
even. All things have been evened out. The playing field is literally leveled, so no one feels like a bully over the other person. It's rock'em sock'em robots, and you don't know whose jaw's going to pop up.
It's a sibling, same gender rivalry instead of
exactly. And so it
domestic
allows
abuse or dispute.
Right. So it allows everybody to just sort of cast all that stuff off and just enjoy the battle.
We tried to vary it.
What I loved about the battle was you talk about how your regular act is building each other up, and that's what you did in the battle while tearing each other down. Like the exchange about the hemorrhoids earlier, like the chemistry, even when you guys went in on Jeselnik or Jeff together.
Anthony, nice beard. I was referring to Nikki. All right, so here we go.
What the fuck?
Jeff, you look like the two of us if we were conjoined. Yeah.
Wow.
You look like you absorbed your twin yesterday.
That was my favorite. Just because I was
yeah.
like, he's coming at us with he's going to come out with something, and his joke. I've seen you guys. I know you guys for a long time. It was just nice to see you guys get laughs on stage. Which I told Dan Van Kirk, who does the podcast Don't People Tell, with us, and he was
nice
like,
plug.
And Dan, thank you. And Dan was like, so Dan, who's ever the positive person, is like, so he had to admit you guys got laughs. I was like, yeah, he did.
Even in the rip.
Even in the rip.
We're like,
so we were ready for it, and we just were so ready to be like, we wanted to do what's called when each of us start to pile on. Our friend Scott Rogowski, who hosts HQ, another plug, sorry, but our friend Scott Rogowski calls
How many name drops are you going to have this show?
He calls them Sklarvalanches.
Oh.
It's like an avalanche.
Joke.
So it's like, okay, Jeselnik.
But you talk about, and we talk about this with you with Moses. We're studiers of the roast battle. We love the roast battle. Nobody promotes it more than we do on our podcast and in general in the world, because we do feel like we came to it as fans and then got to be a part of it. But I do think that the best roasters are the people who take the roasting format and they're doing it, but then they make it their own and put it in their own voice. So it sounds like them. It's unlike anything that's come before it, but it's still roasting.
Right. You guys put it in two voices, by the way.
So it was an energy between the two of us, Pat, where we're like, okay, there's got to be energy between the two of us. The way we normally fight when we fight in our lives, that has to translate. There has to be real anger between the two of us.
There has to be dialogue in between the jokes.
Yeah.
That's funny. That is funny.
The asides, right.
Yeah.
All of that stuff.
And brings it to life.
And even if you're not saying a joke, even if Jay was like on stage, one of my favorite moments is like, can I get to my joke?
That was my favorite too.
I'm like, what are you doing? Get to it.
Can I do my jokes?
Do it.
Okay.
Order.
I mean, my favorite moment was that you brought that energy that we're used to at the roast battle into it when you demanded your own overtime. When Moses tried to get on stage and you were like, no, we got more.
No, we got more.
Get the fuck out of here, Mo.
We got more.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of here.
Get back.
We got more. Get more. You guys want more?
I was feeling the energy.
Yeah.
I was loving it. And
We
we
wouldn't
didn't
have
even
done
talk
that.
about this ahead of time, but I was like, we're feeling the energy. I was like, we have more jokes.
We're going to get them out.
We're going to get them out.
Yeah.
We're
But-
gonna
Wave them off.
But
yeah.
real moments, it's like we're comedians. Like anytime there's a mess up or when you're recording a comedy album or something like that.
No,
there's
our
an
last
interchange-
special. Our last special we shot in Chicago. We shot 2 shows. The first
Keep
show.
these plugs going.
Hipster Ghost available on
fucking
Stars.
slick about it.
the
Jesus
first
God
no,
damn.
but when you record shows, you guys
Right.
know this. So the first show we recorded, and it was loose and it was fun, and we were like, we got 70% of it. 80% of it. Okay, let's go on the next show and like really nail it down. And in between shows, we're like, all right, let's get this better and this better and this better. We kind of came out with this like really amped up energy, and I felt like we got it all in the next show.
And we're like, oh, it's going to be all the second show.
So when we edit this thing together, it's going to be mostly the second show and nothing from the first show. We looked at it and we're like, nope. First show, look at how natural we are.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at how much, like, how real this shit
There
is.
was a weird pause there where I looked at you, or we did react to what the audience was reacting
as
to.
opposed to just trying to fix the things that we didn't
Right.
get right in the first show.
More robotic second show.
So I love the realness of the reaction and then what that made us do, and then waving you off,
Yeah.
and then like in the middle being like, how come no one's roasted Jeff?
Yeah.
Nobody's roasted
Loved it.
Jeff. And I'm
Thank
like,
you guys.
Yeah.
Finally.
because we know a great roast comes from love, and there was a lot of love between the two of us, you know.
Absolutely.
and
it
for
showed.
Jeff, and for Jeff
And
too.
for Jeff too. I mean, that's our. I remember like in 1994 going to New York and working at Boston Comedy Club with Jeff Ross, who had hair at that time. That's how fucking long ago it was. But he's doing bits about like living with his grandpa and his grandpa's saggy balls, and I mean, I can remember all these.
Classics.
He was
Classic balls.
We had him on our show in '97. Like Jeff has been a part of stuff that we've done
Absolutely.
forever. So to be able to like give it to him,
Felt great.
it just
Yeah.
felt
And
great.
he loved it too.
Loved
you
it.
could see
Loved
it.
it. Loved
yeah.
it.
He loved it, and again in that moment we were almost saying thank you for pushing us to do this.
Yeah, because you guys didn't want to.
We did
initially.
not want to. Originally, you and Jeff asked us, and we initially said, I don't think so. And then Jeff said, just, do it. But the
Because
thing,
Jeff's like, in my mind, I see what this is going to be. He could see, because he has
Has
this
the vision.
wide view of the whole thing, and he was like, this is going to be great because we've never done this before, and you guys can do this in a way. And I know
and
you
we've
guys
never
are
done
both-
it before. We built a
Right.
whole career that's been in a different direction. That the whole career was almost a setup for this being a punchline.
100%. By the way, I mean, we could all see it, and then like every time you guys were in the belly room judging, we could see it too. Like, oh my god, these guys going at each other. You guys scolarized the roast battle.
So what I loved is when a week before we're judging
Mm-hmm.
in the belly room, and before it's over, it's on Periscope, everybody who's watching, I love that you did this because you were like, there's no turning back now. There's no turning
You
back.
asked us in
we
the
hadn't
room,
even
will you
signed
do it? We
contracts.
hadn't signed, we hadn't
Yeah.
told Comedy Central if we're going to do it.
Yeah.
You're like, are you guys going to do it?
And
And
we're
it put
like,
us on the spot. And
Real moment. We're like, yep.
we're going to do it. I guess we have to. And Jeff said something so great. He said something that Jon Stewart said to him. He passed that on to us where he's
Love
like,
these name drops.
he was like,
Seriously.
Jeff dropped that one.
he said, live in the discomfort. Out of the discomfort comes funny. We were uncomfortable with the notion of doing this.
But
And-
why
are you so? Yeah,
why
let's get to
uncomfortable?
that. Why? What's wrong?
Because number one, we had never done it before. Yes, we had judged and we
Totally.
had done roast judge, but like there is a different. We
We have a respect for it. It's almost like when you It's like Siegfried and Roy, you know, the tigers are there. It's like you gotta love them, but you gotta realize that they could bite your fucking neck off.
Right.
And so you realize how difficult it is.
And the better comedy.
Oh, we had Siegfried and Roy on. They weren't as good as you guys.
They're not as funny. They're not as good roasters.
I mean, one of them went for the other one's throat.
But it is. I was talking about this last night after the show. I was like, comedy is this like illusion. It's like a magic trick in that the better you are at it, the more the regular people who don't do it think they can do it because you make it look so easy.
Right.
So we're smart enough to see the strings and be like, it's not that easy. You can't just assume because we've judged that we're going to be good roasters. So we were taking it very seriously.
I knew y'all was gonna be hot.
Yeah, because you guys are students of comedy. You guys are students of this. I mean, you guys are awesome.
Y'all funny is really underrated, and it's really kind of
backhanded compliment.
I think you're funny.
Listen, I'm trying to get you that commercial, man.
Listen, you guys are everybody's favorite nobodies. I've said this
which is like the nicest thing, and then every time I think about that, I'm like, why are
right.
we?
It's so sad. It's so sad.
Help! Help! Help!